Hey Scruffy, how you doing? Pointing to straight the screen. So I got a super supper and kibble. So I saw Scruffy earlier today because I needed to do some stuff out here, and because I also was refilling my kibble because I was getting low in my containers, and I keep the big bags out here. A big giant plastic container. And so Scruffy immediately smelled it, and I gave him a little bit of kibble as a treat. Didn't get any footage, but so I've already seen him, fed him a little bit today. So I kind of expect him to be on good behavior. But it seems like whenever I'm nice to him, that's when he's the worst. So so I was mentioning I think I have a gopher or mole problem. I still haven't figured out exactly which animal it is. But I've been looking around for gopher traps or mole traps. I believe my dad had gopher traps. I've seen them before, but I don't know where he put them. And so I've been looking all around the house and outside and hoping I can find them. And yeah, so far no luck. So that was the reason I came out. Well, one of the reasons I came out. So I came out. So I was going to give Scruffy his water, and then I also wanted to search around the yard to see if I could find the gopher traps, because maybe they were under the table, maybe they were out in other parts of the backyard here. And then couldn't find them. Oops. Oh, there's no scratch there. Kind of reacted funny. So anyway, after I gave up looking for the traps, I also remembered I needed to refill my kibble containers. So Scruffy had been on the table when I first came out with the water, and then I went back in, and then I went to around the side of the house looking for maybe where the traps might be, and I think he heard me on the side of the house, and I think it made him nervous, so he jumped off. I heard him jump off the table, and then I saw that he went out into the open part of the deck to get some distance, even though I was not close. Weather was nice today. I was actually surprised he was on the table. It was windy and cold this morning and overnight. I actually saw him on the table again last night before I went to bed in the dark. But yeah, it actually warmed up today, and it's a really nice day. Sun came out. So anyway, I decided I was going to refill the kibble containers. So there's a big giant plastic container under the table, and I have 2 giant bags of kibble. So I have the meow mix, and I have the Kirkland chicken and rice. So originally I bought the giant bag of meow mix because it was one of the cheapest I could find. And then that's when Scruffy started vomiting more. Well, I don't know about more, but he was vomiting, and I was starting to worry maybe he was having a reaction to the kibble. And I didn't want him to get sick over the kibble, so decided to buy a higher quality kibble, which is the Kirkland chicken and rice. and he's still vomiting. So I think it was just him eating too much, and that's what eventually led to both the balls that I put in his bowl as a slow feeder, so he doesn't eat too fast and throw up. And that's also why I kind of also precautionary started mixing his food with wet cat food, because I was still a little worried that maybe the food was causing him to throw up. But in hindsight, it's probably just him scarfing him. Hey! I thought you were going to be nice tonight. So I thought it was going to be him scarfing, or I thought, yeah, I think throwing up is mostly him scarfing and barfing. But I've been nice, and I've continued to give you wet cat food. Maybe I shouldn't. You keep scratching me. I don't like that. So I even fed you extra kibble today, even though you didn't deserve it. And I have a gopher in the yard that you're not taking care of. It's your job. Cars are noisy tonight. So he raised his paw there. That was new. So anyway, I pulled out the container, and so I have it's like 60 pounds of kibble or something like that, minus what Scruffy's eaten. And I open the container and I start pouring the bags into my plastic kibble containers that I keep on the inside. And I think Scruffy immediately could smell the food because he walked over next to the table on the far side. So he was no longer scared of me and keeping his distance. He decided he wanted to get closer because I think he wanted the food. So after I was done refilling my containers and put everything away, I put a little bit of kibble at the base of his water bowl on the red plate. And he walked around the table and came to it. And even though I was still back around the table, putting everything away, yeah, he didn't back off from eating his kibble. So before, last time, I think I got near him while he was drinking his water, just to pass so I could go back inside. He backed away, but yeah, this time he didn't back away because he wanted that kibble. So we're a greedy cat. So let's see. So then I start looking online at Home Depot to see if they had gopher traps and how much they cost and which ones were better recommended. And so I went through a Home Depot selection, and basically it's pretty clear there's just the one basic gopher trap is the one that gets all the best reviews. So all the fancier ones have far fewer reviews and they're much more mixed. So I said, okay, yeah, makes it simple. I'll just get the plain and simple, test it and true gopher traps. And then I discovered none of the traps are in stock, at least at my local Home Depot. So everything was out of stock. And the only way you can get it is either have them ship it to the store or ship it to your home. And I was kind of hoping to go to the store today and just get them, deal with the problem. So then I searched out Lowe's, and they had, I think, 2 models. But the first model actually had a really bad review. both at Home Depot and Lowe's, and so I didn't want to get that one. And then the second one was the tried and true one that I wanted to get, but Lowe's was charging, I think, twice as much, and I was kind of hesitant to pay twice as much for the same trap when I can get it at Home Depot. But the difference is, they claim to have it in stock, whereas Home Depot, I have to get it shipped, so I have to wait for shipping. So I was not sure. I also needed fertilizer stakes, or at least I want fertilizer stakes. As I mentioned, my maples have been dying, and I've been trying fertilizer, and nobody seems to have fertilizer stakes, and nobody has the right nutrient amounts that I need for my maples. And Lowell's selection was even worse than Home Depot's. So I kind of wanted to get both of them together. And then the third thing I mentioned is my soap dispenser broke, and I want to see if I can get a replacement that doesn't require me to replace the whole thing. It's like one of those fancy ones that are built into the kitchen sink. I just need to replace the top, the one with the part that with the pump and the basically the pump part. The bottle's fine, and I don't want to have to go under the sink and replace the whole thing. I just want to replace the top. But I don't know if they're interchangeable or not. So I was kind of thinking it'd be a good excuse to go down to the store, see if I can see them in person, but yeah, I don't know. So I think Home Depot had a slightly better selection from what I saw online, but inventories, I think, at both stores were pretty bad. So decided to go for a walk. And then I actually saw my neighbor, and I asked them if they had any. So they're going to look, but they think they had the same problem I have. They know that there used to be some, but the husband owned them. He passed away, and they're worried that they're somewhere stacked up. They don't know where it is, and they may be rusted and beyond usage now. But they'll look. So anyway, I think it's food time, huh? Yeah, I made you wait longer because you scratched me. Okay, let's get your food. Fur's sticking out today. I don't think it's actually a grooming problem. I think it's just, probably the weather. It's making his fur very fluffy, stick out. Okay. So I have a bunch of different footage of Scruffy today, basically on the table. So he was on the table this morning. He was still on the table when I came out with the water. And I don't think I recorded anything after when I was out here, looking around for the gopher traps or replacing the kibble. Though I also left a little bit of kibble in the old carrier. I was curious if I could convince him to go back in it and try it. And so later this afternoon, I think right before I went for my walk, I saw him. He was sleeping next to the carrier. So my guess is he figured out I left kibble in there. He got it and didn't want to stay in there. But the fact that he's so close to the carrier, maybe he's more comfortable with it now. Anyway, yeah, I went for my walk. Let's see, did I see anything interesting? Yeah, I did take a couple pictures. Yeah, right now I did come across a couple cats. So at first I saw one of the twins again. This time it was in the middle of the field, like where how I usually see them. So wasn't doing much. He was just sitting there. He was pretty far in the middle of the field, so don't have a very high resolution picture of him. He was just sitting there. And then, yeah, I left for my walk late again. I had a bunch of things I was doing today in addition to the gopher traps. So, yeah, I was busy. So, I ran out of time on my walk, so I had to cut it short a little bit, but I also took an alternate route back, which is kind of a shortcut through the neighborhood. So rather than doing a full loop around the park, there's a way I can take a shortcut through some of the neighborhood to get back home. And I passed one of the houses that I think I've seen this cat before. I think I've actually got a picture of it. Originally, when I first saw it, with my eyes, I mistook it for a bunny rabbit because it was sitting in a position where it kind of had that, hump in the back, and it was white. It was primarily a white cat, and so I thought, hey, I don't normally see like a spotted white cat, with a big brown spots. It's usually all white or a little bit of white. Not predominantly white with some coloration. So anyway, I saw that cat again. I was actually walking past a house where I think I've seen it before, and then suddenly, as I was passing by, I saw the cat starting to walk out, and then I decided to pull out my camera, and as I was kind of walking by, the cat was coming out more and more, and then by the time I got my camera out, the cat just stopped dead in its tracks and probably trying to figure out what I was doing. But at first, I thought maybe the cat was going to approach me, sort of like the friendly cat. Because as I kept walking, the cat kind of kept coming more towards me. But yeah, the moment I stopped and was focusing the camera, it stopped. And then let's see, I saw Boots today. So he's hanging out in front of somebody's house. And then, I saw my neighbors, and so, I was talking to them. I haven't talked to them in a little bit, so. So, tomorrow about my gopher mole problem. Oh, yeah, I did get some pictures. I took some pictures of my mole or gopher hole problem. So, you can see the mounds of dirt. They're very, very small mounds, so they're not big. But they are more dome-shaped, so that makes me think they're moles. I think the gophers have more of a crescent shape from what I've seen, but I've heard gophers are active in the day, and you may see them or notice them, and they may backfill holes. So yesterday I actually knocked a hole in the filled hole that they had filled up before I left for my walk, and then when I came back they had already backfilled it. And so that makes me kind of think it was a gopher, but I'm not sure. And I'm still unclear on what kind of traps you need for a mole versus a gopher. It sounds like if you get lucky, the gopher trap might work with either. So I'm thinking I might just go with the gopher trap first, and then If it doesn't work, I might try a mole trap. So, I was actually planning to go out and get the gopher traps, but yeah, it didn't pan out. And then I actually got sidetracked with other things, and I ran out of time, so I didn't go out. I was also thinking I might, if I was out, I might swing over to Costco and get my partial refund for the fact that the oatmeal is on sale, and I bought some a week or two ago when it wasn't on sale, and so I know they will credit you if you go back within a certain amount of time if it happens to go on sale right after you bought it. So I was thinking I might go to Costco, do that, and also load up on 2 more protein powders. So I figured, hey, I know I'll eventually eat it, even if it takes me a year. So hey, that's $30 saved, $15 off each. And I actually think inflation's going to get worse, so the price is just going to go up. Protein powder lasts a long time, so it's easy to store. And even if the inflation doesn't cause the price to go up, I'm almost certain the price isn't going to go down, so I think the sale ends tomorrow, I forgot. I think it's tomorrow. So I got one more shot if I want to do it. So we'll see. Got a bunch of things I got to do tomorrow too, so we'll see. Kind of hoping that protein powder goes back on sale at a reasonable amount of time again. Not like this last time where it seemed to take forever. But yeah, I'm kind of worried that the sales are going to become more infrequent. So I don't think the shortages are going to dissipate anytime soon. I'm reading more articles about grocery shortages, and it sounds not good. These reports are coming from like suppliers and grocery store associations and whatever. So these are the people in the know. So they know their supply chains, and so if they're concerned, that's actually those are credible sources. Scruffy's taking a long time to eat tonight. I know I started feeding him a little bit later, but it's still on the slow side for him. I think I put in a little bit extra kibble tonight. My containers, I actually overfilled my containers slightly, so I have a slight bias to give him a little more food, just so I can empty the container a little faster so I get the lid back on. Let me move the balls. So I got, let's see, I gotta run the dishwasher tonight. So last time I forgot to start it. I think I talked about that. So I saw Scruffy through the window as I was cleaning up for the night. I didn't want to disturb him too much, so I was trying to quickly get the dishwasher, load it, and leave. And I didn't double check to make sure it actually started it. And obviously, I didn't actually start it. So tonight, I'm gonna run the dishwasher again. Try not to make that mistake. Actually, I'd ran out of clean utensils. And I ran out of his cat food bowls. So now Scruffy's doing a fairly decent job cleaning the bowl. I still see like a bunch of pate on the corners, but the middle of the bottom actually is pretty clean. It's a much better job than he's normally done. So I think we're halfway through the pate. So a couple more days, and then we'll finally get the new flavor. You want pets, or are you just looking for food? You're looking for food. Okay, I think Scruffy's leaving. So I'm gonna eat my dinner too. Of course, he's gonna start reading. I think I'm gonna leave. Yeah, we're hitting 30 minutes here, so I'm gonna get up. Yeah, he doesn't want to have anything to do with me, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.